Have you ever stopped to think about this? What's the real secret to building a connection that lasts? Is it expensive gifts? Perfect words? Grand romantic gestures? No, it's something far deeper, far more subtle. Think back for a moment. Can you recall a time when someone made you feel truly seen, truly valued? Maybe it wasn't even something they said. It could have been a gentle touch on your shoulder, a reassuring squeeze of your hand, or the way they looked at you, the most important person in the world at that moment. That's what we're talking about today. Connection, not just surface-level affection, but something real, something lasting. It's not about roses, candlelit dinners, or the words "I love you." It's about understanding her, seeing her for who she is, and knowing how to make her feel cherished, not with grand displays, but with the smallest, most meaningful gestures. These are the moments that stay with her, that build the foundation of a love that feels safe, secure, and unshakable. Today, we're going to uncover something that most people completely overlook: the 7 places older women want to be touched, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. These aren't just tips, they're gateways to deeper intimacy and stronger relationships. Whether you're looking to rekindle a connection, strengthen a bond, or simply show her how much you care, you're in the right place. And here's the best part: these 7 places aren't complicated, but they are profound. When you understand them, you'll see how small actions can transform how she feels about you and about herself. So stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand these 7 places, but also how to use them to bring love, trust, and closeness into your relationships starting today. As we grow older, something remarkable happens in our relationships. The way we connect begins to change. It's no longer about the intensity of the first spark or the thrill of grand romantic gestures. Instead, it becomes about something much deeper: understanding, thoughtfulness, and genuine care. Think about it. When we're young, love often feels like a whirlwind. But as time goes on, we learn that what truly matters are the small, meaningful moments. A quiet reassurance during a tough day. A gesture that says, "I see you and I care." Those are the things that make relationships thrive over the years. And yet, it's so easy to overlook these moments, especially in a world that's constantly pulling us in every direction. But here's the truth: the connection we crave isn't built in a single grand moment. It's built over time, through small, consistent acts of love and care. Now, this isn't just intuition, it's backed by science. Studies on relationships and well-being have consistently shown that physical and emotional touch are essential for maintaining intimacy and trust, especially as we age. Psychologists like Dr. John Gottman, a leading expert on relationships, emphasize that small acts of connection, like a touch on the arm or a moment of shared eye contact, are what create lasting bonds. In fact, research published in the journal Emotion reveals that touch isn't just about affection. It actually reduces stress, fosters trust, and strengthens emotional bonds. Think about that: just a simple touch has the power to lower cortisol levels and release oxytocin, the so-called bonding hormone. These aren't just actions, they're physiological signals of love and safety. And culturally, we see this too. Across the world, from small villages in Italy to bustling cities in Japan, the most successful relationships often emphasize these small, intentional gestures over time. It's universal because it's human. Let me share a story. There's a woman I know, let's call her Lisa. After 25 years of marriage, she and her husband, Tom, started to feel disconnected. Life had become routine. Their conversations were mostly about logistics and intimacy. That felt like a thing of the past. One day, Tom came across something simple but profound: the power of touch. He decided to try an experiment. Every day for a week, he made a point to connect with Lisa in small, Thoughtful weighs a hand on her back while she cooked, a gentle squeeze of her hand during a stressful moment, a long, warm hug before bed. At first, Lisa was surprised, but by the end of the week, something shifted. She began to soften, to open up. Their conversations deepened. Their bond started to feel alive again. The most remarkable part, it wasn't about saying the perfect thing or planning some elaborate date. It was about being present, intentional, and thoughtful. Those small touches reminded Lisa of something she hadn't felt in years, that she was seen, valued, and loved. And that's what we're diving into today, the simple, yet transformative ways you can use touch to create those same moments of connection. Because whether you've been married for 30 years or you're just starting to rebuild a relationship, these 7 places we'll explore can make all the difference. Number 1, the emotional touch. The most important touch isn't physical, it's emotional. Without emotional connection, physical gestures often feel hollow. Let me tell you about Sarah and James. After years of marriage, Sarah felt unheard and unimportant in her relationship. James didn't realize that when Sarah shared her thoughts, she wasn't looking for solutions, she was looking for understanding. One evening, instead of responding with advice, James sat quietly, listened to her concerns, and simply said, "That sounds really hard. I'm here for you." That small shift transformed their connection. Emotional attunement, listening deeply, validating feelings, and showing empathy creates a profound sense of safety and trust in any relationship. It's a reminder that she's valued for who she is, not just what she does. The next time she shares her thoughts, resist the urge to fix or respond right away. Listen fully without interrupting. Then say something like, "I can see how much this means to you. How can I support you?" That moment of validation can mean the world. Number 2, physical touch of reassurance. A simple touch can create profound reassurance, especially during moments of stress or vulnerability. Think about a time when you felt overwhelmed and someone gave you a warm hug or held your hand. It didn't solve the problem, but it made you feel supported and less alone. Physical touch, like a reassuring hand on her back or a comforting embrace, sends a powerful message. I'm here for you. One woman shared how her partner's habit of lightly resting his hand on her shoulder during tough conversations made her feel grounded and supported. It wasn't the words he said, but the physical connection that gave her comfort. When she's stressed, don't underestimate the power of simple gestures. Gently hold her hand or give her a soft hug. These small actions create a sense of safety that words sometimes can't. Number 3, playful touch. Keeping things playful keeps relationships alive and joyful, even after decades together. Playfulness adds a spark of fun to relationships. Picture this, a couple dancing in their kitchen to an old song or sharing a playful nudge during a walk. These light-hearted moments remind her of the joy you share together. I remember hearing about Tom and Laura. After years of routine, Tom surprised Laura with a playful tap on her nose during a date night. It was silly, but it broke the ice and had them both laughing, reminding them of their younger days. Next time, try a light-hearted touch on her shoulder, a playful tickle, or even a spontaneous dance. It's not about being perfect, it's about sharing joy in the little moments. Number 4, touch of gratitude. Gratitude expressed through touch enhances connection by making her feel valued and appreciated. A simple thank you can be powerful, but pairing it with a physical gesture takes it to another level. Imagine the impact of saying, "Thank you for always being there for me," while placing your hand on her arm or giving her a kiss on the forehead. It transforms words into a heartfelt moment. One story comes to mind. Mary always felt unappreciated until her partner started showing his gratitude physically, like placing a hand on her shoulder while thanking her for dinner. Those small touches made her feel seen and valued. Whenever you thank her, add a physical gesture. A hand on her back, a light squeeze of her hand, or a warm hug. It shows that your words come from the heart. Number 5, intentional presence. Being present enhances every interaction and deepens the bond between you. In a world full of distractions, being fully present is a rare and meaningful gift. Picture this. You're having a conversation, and instead of glancing at your phone, you place your hand on hers, look into her eyes, and give her your undivided attention. That level of presence speaks volumes. Research shows that distractions like checking your phone can erode trust and intimacy over time, but being fully present strengthens emotional touch and connection. The next time you're with her, put your phone away, place your hand gently on hers, and maintain eye contact. Show her that she's the center of your attention. Number 6, romantic gestures. Romance doesn't have to fade, it evolves into meaningful, intentional gestures. Romance isn't always about extravagant dates. It's about small, thoughtful actions that show love, like brushing a strand of hair out of her face or holding her waist while you cook together. These little moments reignite the spark. One couple shared how a simple nightly tradition of holding hands before bed brought them closer. It was their way of saying, "I'm still here, and I love you." Add a romantic gesture to your day, a soft kiss on the forehead, a loving embrace, or holding her hand while walking. It's the little things that keep love alive. Number 7, comforting touch. Providing comfort builds trust and connection, especially during tough times. When she's going through a rough time, a comforting touch can be more healing than any words. I think of a back rub after a long day, or simply holding her close when she's feeling overwhelmed. These gestures show that you're her safe space. One woman shared how her partner's habit of gently rubbing her shoulders after a long day made her feel cared for and appreciated. It wasn't about fixing her problems, but being there for her. Offer her a back rub, a soothing touch, or just hold her hand in silence. These moments of comfort strengthen your bond and remind her she's not alone. Let me share a powerful story about Mia and Robert. After 20 years of marriage, they were barely connecting. Life had become a series of responsibilities: work, bills, raising kids, and their relationship felt more like a partnership than a loving bond. But something changed. One day, Mia attended a workshop on connection and realized how small gestures could rebuild the intimacy they'd lost. She started simple, placing her hand on Robert's arm while thanking him for taking care of something around the house. She began hugging him a little longer each morning before they started their day, and Robert noticed. He responded by mirroring her gestures: a kiss on the forehead when she was stressed, a comforting hand on her back when she felt overwhelmed. Within a few weeks, the distance between them started to fade. They began laughing more, sharing deeper conversations, and rediscovering the love that had been buried under the weight of daily life. These small, consistent actions created a ripple effect that transformed their marriage. Now, let's contrast that with a different story. Laura and Mike had been married for 15 years, but over time, they stopped paying attention to each other. The touches, the little moments of affection, they disappeared. Laura would share her feelings, but Mike rarely responded with empathy. Mike would come home stressed, and Laura wouldn't offer the small gestures that once brought them closer. Eventually, they grew distant. Without those little acts of connection, their relationship began to feel cold and transactional. Both of them felt unseen and unappreciated, and it took a toll. What's heartbreaking is that it wasn't about a lack of love, it was about neglecting the small, meaningful ways to show it. This is what happens when we forget the power of touch, both physical and emotional. It creates a chasm where there used to be closeness, and over time it becomes harder and harder to bridge that gap. But here's the thing, there's always a way back. The smallest gesture can reignite a bond and bring warmth back into a relationship. So, what's the one gesture that's often overlooked but can make the biggest difference? Let's wrap it all up with a final thought that can transform the way you connect with the women in your life. What's one gesture you've tried in the past that made a difference in your relationship? Share it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. Which of these 7 touches resonated with you the most? Let me know below. Pause for a moment. Think about someone you care about deeply, a partner, a parent, a close friend. What's one small way you can show them you care today? It doesn't have to be big, just something intentional. Write it down or share it with us in the comments. Before the day ends, I challenge you to try at least one of these gestures. Whether it's holding her hand or simply listening with full attention, see how it transforms the moment. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've covered. Connection isn't just about grand displays or the right words, it's about small, consistent actions that show care, understanding, and presence. Whether it's the emotional touch of listening, the physical reassurance of a hug, or the playfulness that brings joy, these 7 touches are the foundation of deep and meaningful relationships. So here's what I want you to do. Start small. The next time you're with someone you care about, offer a hug, rest your hand on theirs, or simply be fully present in the moment. These small gestures can create a ripple effect that strengthens your connection in ways you can't imagine. What's one idea from this video that you'll apply today? Is there a specific touch or gesture that you're excited to try? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear how it goes for you. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to give it a like and share it with someone who could benefit from these insights. And if you're looking for more ways to build deeper connections and stronger relationships, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Together, we'll keep building relationships that truly matter.